Yeah, I was like I remember I saw this health guy, his thing, and it was like, wake up this time, do this, do that, talk to my clients, do podcast, and bed. And I'm like, what? When does the whole thing start? When does the day start? We're good?
You're like, that's my morning.
What's up, Pac?
That was a weird one.
I thought you were gonna go calm and.
I was like, just brought it all the way here. But what's up, Pac? This is my late night DJ voice, and we're here.
The creepy voice.
Exactly. What's going on, everybody? I wanted to just bring this mic back here. I just felt this was a good energy back here.
Yeah,
today.
you brought it back.
Better for me. We were just talking about like, because here's another day where we're a little behind schedule. We had shit go down, like dogs, and now a million things going on. We're supposed to shoot this thing at what, 9, 8 or something, and it's
9 a.m.
noon or whatever the fuck, like a million things.
Per usual.
The reason, what I was saying was before is like this is something we're trying to like fit in while running a business and doing all this stuff. Where I was like watching this guy, like a fitness influencer, and he talked to everyone's like, oh, big question of the day, what's your schedule like? And I saw his schedule, and I was like, so when does he start working? You know, like because to me this is not work. This is like a break for me.
Yeah. For you,
yeah. For me, like no, but it's like a break because I
full-time job.
It's work.
It's work for
like,
Jamie too. She's
I have
like,
to
I hate
perform.
this shit.
I have to perform. Yeah, but it's like I enjoy it. So I'm like, whatever. This is like the enjoyment time. This isn't work. And like, but a lot of the stuff we do here is like that. It's like, oh, we got to like have a meeting about advertising. Like I enjoy that. We have a meeting about we have to take the dogs for a walk. Oh, let's go do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just saw like his thing was like wake up, like it was like breakfast, 2 hours of breakfast. Like holy shit, good for you. And then it's like shoot a video, which is like a podcast or whatever for like, and he's got like 4 or 5 hours for that. Then it's like nap on his biomat and all this thing.
No, really?
Yeah.
Nap on there?
Yeah. Then it's like all these like health things that he does for himself, and then he goes to bed. I'm like, fuck, that's all this guy does.
Oh,
but
that's his job.
But then there's people in the comments saying, how do you get all that done in a day? And I'm like, what? How do you get all that done in a day?
That's
I was
like
like,
your
fucking
morning.
pick it up, bro. You can do more than that shit, you know? But yeah. But it's anyway, that brings me to the point though of for last weekend or end of the week, Cassie and I took I guess you would call it a staycation.
Yes.
Even though it's not really stay.
Well, how stay? How was it stay? You guys left.
We left the house, but we stayed like in the local area and we went to Hoboken. So we rented like a room at the W Hotel in Hoboken, which was not as nice of a bed as I had here. No offense, guys. But
Cassie was saying
pick up your
that.
fucking bed game. But yeah, it was good. The main thing for me was like I was just like, all right, it's Valentine's Day weekend. Like I want to just like I need a break from everything to like clear my head because I was getting frustrated and frustration comes from feeling like there's an outcome or a solution, but like you can't get there.
Right.
So that's what I was like feeling like a lot of like for the last like month of like we can be better, we can be more efficient, we can be but how? And I'm like I fucking can't figure it. Let me just go with Cassie away. And then we went. And it was like, Cassie's like, even asking me like, so what do you want to do for lunch? I'm like, you decide. I'm not big in decisions. This is my thing is.
And you were okay with her decision?
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the things were like, so do you want it? No. One day.
So you literally did just nothing.
One of the days.
That's good for him, though.
I didn't leave the hotel room.
No, I know. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, one of the days, I think like we walked for coffee and went upstairs and then we went to dinner and I went upstairs. That's it.
And that was it.
But then I came back and I'm like on fire. It's the feeling that I have like after I go to TCW.
Mm-hmm. Which you haven't done in a while.
No. And it's something I realized was like unknown, like it's known, but like unrealized almost that like when I would be out in LA, it would be a big break from like making all the decisions here.
Sure.
Like this every day.
I feel like you always looked forward
where you
to
can't,
that.
but because what it is once you step back from it, then you can see.
Yeah.
When you slow down, and it's like this is what meditation does. It's like slow down so like you can catch up with yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, slow down so you can actually see what the problem is. Stop fucking getting frustrated on the problem. Take a step back, look at it, and then be like, oh, this is again the same problem that we've had forever. We're not organized enough. We have to get more organized. And organization is not a quality of mine at all, but it's something that has to be done. So it's like I'm on this thing now of like getting this thing down to the system of like, if someone calls with like I'm just making shit up, but like a 6 in this first number of their area code, this is the process. Like you know what I'm saying? Like something down to like the slightest little thing. Or people are 6 minutes late. What do you do? Like that's the way we're going to do things here, and this is what it has to be. Because look, we focus on structure with the dog. We talk about structure in the day, and then we have to have structure here, so everybody knows what they're doing and understands. Because same thing with dogs. Like in a pack of dogs, they all have to be clear on what I expect of them.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like what is the protocol for how we all go to the dog park? So do we all rush there? Well, no, guys. The system is we walk out the door calmly. You stay next to your human. And then when you get to the dog park and the leash is off and they say that free thing, go fucking run your face off. But until then, so that's the systems. But that's like our systems here are like, I don't know, just get them to the dog park. You know? Meaning like in all aspects. Like where's the file on this? It's part of the problem of like expansion for sure that I realize that people think like, well, we should expand. That's a good solution to this problem. That usually brings way more problems.
Oh my God, yeah.
Expansion brings problems and people overexpand. And that's a thing that like I have to like be careful with because I'm one who's prone, just like certain dogs are prone to like anxiety. I'm prone to like expanding too quickly.
Right.
Extending, leveraging.
Because you have those visions and you just want to get things done.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah.
It's like literally holding the reins back.
You know what it is? Like,
horse.
I'm a little bit of like the wild poker player who would like every once in a while, like, here he goes again, going all in. But I have enough confidence in my skills that you're going to fold, dude. I know your shit, you know? But, and you can reap tons of rewards, but you can also get fucked up doing that too.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be very calculative when you make those calculated strikes kind of thing. But yeah, that was the weekend. Good times though. We ate some food. I got sick one night. I don't know if it was from the food or I just wasn't feeling good or what.
You know
what did you eat?
What Jamie was saying?
I mean,
Cassie.
Well, you don't have to say the place. Just
Well,
I ate a bunch of different
I was
things.
just about to say the place, but I guess I won't.
Yeah, I ate a bunch of different things. But I was eating different things throughout the day and stuff, so I don't know what it was. So it could have just been a mixture of things or whatever.
So that's what you did on that time off. You were eating.
Yeah, but not that much. No.
You weren't stuffing your face.
Nah.
You know what? Actually, let me ask this question. What was the biggest takeaway then from your little time off?
That I need to do that more often and I need a break from this place. Not because like I can't handle the workload, but it doesn't allow me to think clearly. Like it doesn't like being in it every day. I can't just like it's like being all right. So to give you an example, like this is the business. We're in it right here. 1, 2, 3. We're in the business, and we're like trying to solve like how do we open this thing, and then and we're all like in it trying to do it. We're instead of like me just like let me take a step back here and like let me slow down and think about. Oh wait, just turn and then like it's like that, like being not like because what happens here a lot is by doing podcasts, social media, dog training, or whatever we want to call it, individual sessions, boarding trains, boarding, camp, like, I mean, to a degree, like human coaching as well. Like all these things that are happening in a growth or a startup, basically is the way I consider this thing. It just is like a lot. It's just like, what? Next? I need you for an email. I need you for a video. Hey, this dog's doing it. I'm just like, and then sleep. And then like wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, post. What am I posting today? Oh, here are the comments. Here's the like, go. Right. I realized that I just have to be better about like slowing the fuck down. Honestly, just slowing down. Nice. Because
I think that's always been a challenge for you.
Yeah, because I want to get somewhere or go somewhere, but I understand taking initiative. I understand like hustle and go like going for it and all that stuff. But sometimes like don't forget about like, all right, take a step back though too.
Right.
Don't just have your foot on the gas at all times.
I like what you said about the sports thing too. It's like rest and recovery. It's really important.
That's it. Yeah,
makes
that's
you more
one,
efficient.
Yeah. So that's like what I was saying is like in MMA or boxing, wrestling, whatever it is. They have a thing that they call it overtraining. Like he overtrained for that fight. People say, "What do you mean overtrained? Wouldn't he be in better shape if he overtrained?" No, because you didn't give the body a chance to recover.
Right.
So they train. So it would be like I was at 100% energy and I like killed myself down to like 25, but then I only gained back to 50%. So now you're just living down there and never giving your chance to recover fully.
Right.
That's why like a lot of people, and they overtrain in the gym. People overtrain in the gym. They work out 7 days a week. They lift weights. They go crazy. And people are like, I don't know. You're not really changing that much. I know, because you're not giving your body a chance to fucking recover.
Right.
But then there's the other side of it of people who don't do it enough, or they don't challenge the body as enough, or like the people who say, well, I show up on time for work. I should get a raise. It's like, no, that's what you're fucking supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's like the minimum of what you're supposed to be doing.
There has to be that balance.
Yeah, has to be a balance. But yeah, that's that stuff. So that's the biggest takeaway for me is I'm learning. I'm still growing. I've never built a big ass business and done this thing and podcast and all. This is all, I'm just doing it and figuring it out as we go. So the biggest lesson I would say is to just start doing things and you're never going to feel like you have it all figured out and you're just always optimizing. And once you realize that's the whole game of I wasn't failing because I didn't see this yet. This is just part of the process. So I'm enjoying. I needed to go through that low, so I'm grateful for it. of getting frustrated and feeling that, to be able to be like, all right, I got to like take this step back and pivot and go right over just a little bit over here. That's all I was missing. That's it.
I think one thing that you did mention to me was the stillness for yourself, stillness of the mind.
Yeah.
To slow it.
Slowing things down, because like that's what I'm saying is like day to day, it's like this thing to this thing to this thing. It's like up at anywhere between, depending on the day, between 5 and 8, depending on the day. Try to be earlier, but I get up at that time, and then it's like from that second, it's like this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing.
Yeah.
But this is what I made, but it's unrealistic for me to do that 7 days a week, 365.
Right.
So it's
You're
just not
doing.
gonna
You're
work.
actually doing like 25/8.
Huh?
You and Cassie were doing 25/8 instead of 24/7. You guys were like 25/8 on it.
But even that's the other thing, though. It's like it's not only that it's not only a work. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to like solve things. It's 7 days a week working. Okay, you have to be the performer, because every session it's like I don't have anyone to be like, hey, what should I do here? Like I have to know what the fuck I'm doing, right? Luckily I do. So it's like being the performer, it's going to this thing, going to that thing, and then all right, you're finally done. It's 9 p.m. Oh, don't forget about all those dogs that you have in the house that are staying overnight, you know. So then it's like, you know, here we go. It's like, I was like, 2:10. Okay, so me and Cassie. So who's gonna go address that dog? That's what we're doing here. That's really what it comes down to.
the worst.
So now I'm organizing that now and getting all that, because
Or then you
that's
get
the
to the
worst.
point where you just don't know how to shut your brain off.
Yeah, when people say 24/7, I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. Like, you're thinking of, like, you wake up at this time, you work all day and go home, and then
Right.
you rest, and then you have a sleep, and then you wake up and have your coffee. And I'm talking literally 24 hours of the day you're on call.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's just, but fuck it. Who cares? We just have to figure out how to do it the right way, you know?
Yeah.
Also, this is something I would say also, is, like, doing something that you believe in, you're passionate about, that, like, you see it and you, like, know it's like going to happen, makes it a lot easier too. To like do this much work, I guess you would call it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But you put all that time in, though, and then you end up burning out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck all of
Well,
this.
I've had
I don't
them.
want
I've
to
had
do
them. I mean, I had
any
it
of
back in Hoboken. There would be ones where I tell Cassie, I'm just going to sleep in for a little bit, and I'm just like, sleep till like 9 today or something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
then it's 4 p.m. It's like,
4
has
p.m. and I'm
anyone
like, I
seen
can't get
Steve?
out of bed. And I like would start reading about I'm like, oh, so this burnout thing's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I realized that it's a strategy of recovery, that I have to be able to step back so I can see things. And then I started reading about, like, Bill Gates and these people who go away by themselves for,
Yeah,
like,
Bill
X
Gates
amount of
does
time.
It 2 weeks every
Yeah,
year. And
just to
literally
think.
no one has contact.
Yeah,
with
just to be
him.
like, what do I... So I kind of did, to a degree, that, just not, like, the total way. But I did that of, like, I'm not making decisions. I'm not going on media right now. I'm not doing anything. Sorry, Gary Vee, I'm not documenting this at all. I don't give a fuck. I'm just taking a step out, you know? Yeah. Because he doesn't. I don't give a shit what he says. He doesn't document his time with his family and stuff.
No, he doesn't document everything.
Everything,
Not,
you know?
not everything
Yeah.
needs to be documented.
So that's good though. And then I wanted to talk about the dogs that have been coming in here. I've been seeing a lot of. So yeah, it's been the reason we didn't do a podcast like we too was
Oh, yes.
we got 2 feet of snow on Monday. I think Sunday into Monday or Tuesday. Sunday into Tuesday, really.
The past couple
That was
weeks.
2 weeks ago.
The
Two
past
weeks
couple
ago.
weeks.
We got a
been
big
And then we got
storm.
another storm.
And then we got another one on
And we
top
got
of
ice.
it.
And then we got 5 to 8 inches coming on what?
Thursday or some
Friday. Thursday, Friday.
It's been nonstop.
It's crazy. So, like, just so you guys understand, here in Jersey, we had last year at this ranch, we had a total of 8 inches of snow the whole fucking
That's
winter,
it. Yeah.
Right.
which is amazing. It's a very low amount. This year, I mean, how many inches now has it been? 40?
What you
The
paid? You
inches,
paid the
right?
bill recently.
Oh, for the big
For the
storm.
snow.
It's at 32 inches.
32 inches is nothing.
inches.
That's
That
one. That was one.
That was one storm, 32 inches. It was literally
we've had
almost
a
3 feet
few.
of snow.
Yeah.
Nico's up to here trying to go through. I was actually enjoying it because, like, taking him into the snow is like him, like, trying to swim.
He was
'Cause their arms
exhausted
have
the next day.
drained.
Yeah.
Just keeping him out in the snow.
But let's be real though. Are you
Maybe we
guys?
should ship him to like Canada.
Yeah, I know.
Do you guys actually enjoy this now?
I
But-
do in moderation. Like I
Right.
would like just one big storm and then that's
And
it
then
for
be
the season.
done.
Yeah.
I like snow when it's coming down, like the whole like. But I think look, this brings me into another thing too. For here, well, let me ask you, what do you think about the snow? Because this is my point. Just bear with me.
Okay, cool. Well, I was asking for a reason, but for me,
You were just asking so that we could ask you.
Yeah.
no, not at all. Honestly,
I
I
was
was
asking so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about me
Okay,
now.
go ahead.
So, For me, honestly, I'm really enjoying the hell out of the snow
Yeah.
because I know what's coming right around the corner from this is like a lot of heat and all that stuff. So I'm like
Yeah.
right now I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
That's what I was saying. Like
we're
today.
ice skating, we're doing all these cool
Today
things.
is like,
you know?
but today is like a little. I said today's a good
True.
day to like to get your hopes up. It's like it's been fucking cold here, and then all of a sudden it's like 51 today, and we
And
go
you're like,
outside,
oh,
and
it's
you're
so
like 51.
warm.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I see sun. And
Yeah.
I feel some sunlight on me. It feels crazy. So it's
But
like,
isn't it funny though? Like we say we appreciate all the seasons, but then every season that we're in, we always complain about it.
no.
until the next one.
Until the next,
Yeah.
So then,
That's the
but when
part.
it's 80 degrees and then it drops to 70 and then it goes to 50, we're like,
Yeah.
oh god, it's so cold.
So, Jamie,
but then on
that's
a
the
day
part.
like today, we're like, oh, it's so warm out.
I know.
Exactly what you're saying now is I'm trying to appreciate the moments that we're in currently and not trying to get to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah, it's true. The thing that I was gonna say from growing up in this area, why when it's snowing, it's like a good association because it meant snow days for me
True.
Yeah.
in school.
No snow days for you anymore, bro.
No,
You're working through them.
And no snow days for the kids now. We talked about that.
Yeah.
But I used to look forward to it. Oh, it's snowing, yes. And then the sound of the plow and all that was like very good sign. That's a good sign. We might not be going in, or we'll have a delayed day. That's how I felt about school, by the way.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it was like for me. So
No,
I had that
sometimes hearing the
association.
plow was worse because you're like, oh shit, they're getting rid of
Yeah.
the snow. They're going
Right.
to be able to
No.
open.
You don't understand. When we had the all those feet of snow, you guys weren't here because you couldn't get here, right? So it's me and Cassie, and she comes out, and the guy who we hired to plow the driveway, I'm like sitting at the front window, like what, like a 38-year-old
kid.
man, sitting at the front window watching this guy. Cassie's like, you're like a little boy doing that. I'm like, yeah, what am I doing right now? I'm like so fascinated with the guy plowing the driveway.
I could just imagine him.
Because it's just literally me, like on my knees on my bed, looking out the window, like, oh my god, what time is it? It's not school today, and I didn't study. So,
I didn't study.
thank God.
Do you have
I made a
dreams
good
about
bet.
that? Do you have dreams about that ever that you're not prepared for like a test?
No, I used
up
to have
until
those.
today?
I used to have those dreams all the time.
Yeah.
Not so much in school because I didn't give a shit. To be honest, I was like, whatever. I felt
Yeah.
it was But when I was working with my father,
Oh.
like, was I prepared for the job the next day? Did I bring enough thing? Like, make sure I wake up at time. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and like put the sheets off and be like,
Is it time to
I'm
get
like,
up yet?
"Damn, I'm like just dreaming and sleepwalking almost to a degree. Yeah.
What about you? Any dreams like that where you're like, oh, I'm not ready for this thing. I'm not ready for the meeting, the zoning meeting.
No, I wouldn't say dreams or anything like that.
You don't dream at all. That's what I found out about you.
Yeah,
Or when I
dreams.
do, I
She
usually
doesn't
forget
dream.
them.
Yeah.
You ever have those
She
where you
tries to
wake up and
forget
you're
them.
like, I know I had a weird dream, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I just have that weird feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People sometimes say write it down, like when you first wake up.
Yeah.
Like, just write down what's happening in your mind.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. What I was going to say was getting into the little segue here, getting into the dogs that have been coming in recently, which
Yeah.
is like
There's a bit
how
of a
many
theme.
dogs we're getting with this resource guarding thing that's been
Right.
happening. So we have one dog now who's really, really bad with it. We have another dog staying with us for boarding who was really, really bad with it. And I just did another assessment with a dog who is bad with it, right? And it's a young dog, 6 months. Oh, man. And it's like every one of the dogs that we're talking about has been through multiple trainers and all the thing. So it's always the same story. I shouldn't say always, but most of the time it is, and it's similar, which is we brought them. It always starts this way too. It's usually never I went to like the prong collar, like that guy first or girl first.
Right. It's a soft side.
I
first.
went to this one first because the people who are doing it that way are doing a very nice job of packaging this thing.
Their
Like, they're
marketing.
really good salespeople.
Their
to be
marketing is
honest.
on
Right.
point, basically.
Yeah, it's like look at this beautiful.
They put it in a pretty package with a
Yes,
bow.
it's very kind thing.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's gonna make you feel very positive, even though it's nothing to do with it. Like, so they're giving like all this big sale of like all we do is this, and the people are like, oh, this I like the way this sells. You're probably not gonna get the result you want, but we don't tell you that part. We just tell you this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna take 10 years to do it, and then so then they do that route,
It's a
and
lot
then
of fine print.
same thing, which is they would say when the dog is present, when the other thing is present, when this is present, give food, redirect, like reward, but don't do anything about that. Well, you have to do something about that, in my opinion, right? Then they eventually say, well, this doesn't seem to be working. I feel like I'm missing something because he's just getting excited about the food and this thing still. So we must have to tell him no. So then they go to like the like, remember the guy, I don't know if like you won't remember this, but there's like a guy in wrestling who he just says yes, yes, yes all the time. Like those trainers are like the guys who are like, no, no, no. Like everything is no. Like everything is a correction. Everything's no.
Yeah. It's one extreme to the other.
People who have watched wrestling, I mean, that's probably not our audience, but
I'm
like,
not remembering though that.
there's a guy like he's in it now. And he
Yeah?
goes, yes, yes, yes.
Oh.
People will say in the
Oh,
comments.
it's because you watched some recently.
I used to watch wrestling back in the day, and then now I'm getting all the things on
Yeah.
YouTube of like old wrestling things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big WWF fan back.
Not
in the day.
WWE.
Not E.
No.
It was like back in Stone. I mean, I was back in Hulk Hogan days. To Stone Cold, Rock, Undertaker, all that. Oh my god.
You know what surprised me?
We go all over the place in this thing. All right.
Cassie said that she used to watch a lot of it. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she's
did.
like, yeah, I mean Cassie. She's like, yeah,
Her
I've
and
been
her
to 2
sister.
WrestleManias.
Yeah, so she's-
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
WrestleManias? What?
It's like,
Who
where
are
did that
you?
come
What
from?
are you?
Right.
What are you? That's what I need to know.
Where'd
That's
you
probably what
come
I'm
from?
intrigued by her.
Yeah.
But they're like the no, like everything's no. So they go hard the other way, and they make the dog like, and this is the same thing each time. So these people over here pump him up, everything's great. Don't never tell him no. Over here, they tried correcting him, he got worse. He either seemed fearful or he got worse with it. Here, he just got worse with it. He just got excited or distracted. Here, this. I'm like, you have to come in the middle here and understand the individual. The relationship is a big part of it. This dog, has anyone talked to you about his insecurity? And they went right to dealing with the food thing.
Right.
All right, so something that I think people need to understand too is when it comes to the food aggression thing, or food guarding or resource guarding, I don't go right to that in the beginning. Like, I think that's where people got the wrong idea when they would watch Caesar on Dog Whisperer, was they would say, oh, he's guarding or doing something, and Caesar would go right to it in that mode. But what people don't remember is he only had X amount of time with those people.
This is
Right.
the dog that you're referring to in our assessment that we had today.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. And he's nervous. He's a little nervous, but he's like he's going to be one who's going to come probably stay with us, and he's going to be good.
Yeah.
This is a 6-month-old who's insecure. You can't really see it now. This is all excitement right now.
Everything, like the shadow to.
Yeah, she's taking him out what he's scared about and all that. So he's scared about a bunch of things, basically. He's nervous, but he's also excited and being pushy and then claiming food. So one side said just fucking throw food at the problem. The other side's like, they said that they were actually uncomfortable in the session because of how hard the guy was yanking on the prong collar.
Well, that's what kind of gets into
listen, I
the
don't give a
systems and
shit.
protocols, because
I
I
don't
feel
get
like
into
a
these
lot of those
arguments, though.
trainers, it's very like, okay, we have a dog like this. This is what we do.
Yeah, no shit.
Like,
so
it's just very standard. There's no customization to.
that's
the
what I'm saying.
training.
I don't get into these arguments. Like people, like you, every once in a while, like I'll come on and I'll post something, and someone will come on and like post this whole thing about like this other professional in the dog industry arguing with like why I did it or what I did or proving something in theory. And I'm like, that's fine, but that's not like, I don't care what your theory, I really don't care to sell you on it. I know what I'm doing here and know I'm working. So here's the big point with that is the difference is I was trying to think about how to articulate this the best way. I said it at one point that it seems like a lot of these people know of dogs, but don't know dogs. Mm-hmm. And the way I was thinking about this more recently, I'm trying to think of how I can articulate this the best way. Like knowing them, but all right. So then what I'm saying is a lot of them know the theory of dog and their behavior and their psychology and training based on someone else's shit, right? They read it and they're just taking it as gospel and they repeat it over and over and they scream and yell about it too, a lot of them. I, including Caesar, I never would do any of the stuff or that I shouldn't say, I would never promote any of the things that he did or anything that I've seen or anything that I talk about here without trying it. There will be things that say you could try this, it may work, just coming off of my, but almost every single thing that I'm saying here is like, this is what I did with that type of dog. This is what I did with this dog. This is what I did. I've done it. I've seen it with my own eyes to do this thing. Yeah, but that theory over there that someone else talked about said this. It's like, I don't give a shit what that said because I saw it right here with my eyes in real life, on the earth, in like a real scenario. This is not in a book. It's not a video of someone in Europe or what. This is happening here and it's worked. So I try these things and I'd be like, let me try it with this dog. That's a really good technique. I don't find it to be that good, but I can actually do it this way and maybe do a little spin on it.
Right.
So there's things I don't do exactly the same as Caesar because why? I'm not fucking Caesar. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I do the same because I think he's amazing at what he does. And I think he understands the core better than anybody on this planet of like of energy and foundation and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm saying is like a lot of these things is like knowing dogs, but people are just learning a little bit and then they think they're ready to take on the world. But it's like, I always say like the dog thing, like you learn dog psychology, you learn things like the beginning is like pretty fast. You can learn a lot and handle a lot of cases, but and a majority, but then it's like, it's really evens out and it takes
You plateau.
time, not really even plateau. You can plateau, but it's just the growth slows down dramatically. Because now you're into the lid. It's like doing jiu-jitsu or boxing or like, I don't know, sewing. The more you do it and the more time, like That's how you get better at what it is. You know what I mean? And it's like it's like, oh no, when you move this way, the guy's going to do that. Or when I'm sewing the thing, if I go under it, that's not the right way. You have to go over this particular one.
Right.
That's where it gets really deep.
Yeah, that's where it goes for everything. Just experience is what makes you better.
And I see a lot of it. And it's a hard one for me because I see people putting themselves out there, going on social media, getting out of their comfort zones, like saying, but then sometimes I'm like, like you're talking with a little bit too much of like, this is how it is, as opposed like, because you don't know, you haven't been doing this long enough to know how it is what I'm saying.
Right.
Or had enough. It doesn't even have to be the years doing it. It's the experience of time doing it, like repetitions of doing something. So I know I'm getting off all over the place on this shit, but that's what my main thing is
it makes sense though what you're saying though.
Continuing to be like to get to like a really good level and talk about what you know and what you've experienced. Don't just repeat what other people are saying that you've never even experienced yourself.
Correct.
Like it's like someone who screams about an e-collar, like who goes against the e-collar. It's a harsh truth. Have you ever felt the e-collar? No. So what the fuck are you talking about?
How do you know?
It would be like me saying this water is disgusting. Really? And what does it taste like? I don't know. I didn't try it. I just know it's disgusting because someone else tried it.
Yeah.
Everyone always says it like, oh, yeah, I don't like that food. Well, have you ever had it? No.
No.
Well, so how do you know you don't like it?
Someone else did it.
Well, I don't know. It
told
just
me it
looks,
wasn't
it just
good.
looks weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having an emotional reaction to it.
Or
Yeah.
I read
happening.
about it somewhere or something like that.
I'm having an emotional reaction because I think what you're doing is electrocuting that dog. Okay, well, that's what you're feeling like. That's not what's happening.
Right.
You could write a movie about that because it's Fantasyland. Here's what's really happening. Do you want to know? Yeah, it's like, that's really what it is.
Fantasyland. Wasn't that an amusement park or something?
Fantasyland's in Disneyland. Disney World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where you live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what are we doing next? We're doing videos or not?
Well, yeah, let's do a video. I think it was good for you to give a little bit of insight too about the business that a lot of people don't see and hear about.
I think it's good for people
good.
who are at least in business or thinking about starting a business to hear about my journey of the process of doing it. Like, I think a lot of people will go on. I know from my experience, I would go on and look at people's accounts, like these business people and stuff, and like, damn, these guys got it all figured out. And like, how do I become perfect like them?
Right.
It's like, no. It's something I talked to Adam about. I said, even when it comes to Nico, like most people are trying to be like, how can I find like the most perfect thing and post that, right? And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, how can we show Nico worse?
Yeah.
You know, because like people are getting this
I
idea
feel like
that
nobody
he's like,
really sees him.
yeah, people are
in
getting
his
this
bad,
idea that
or
he's
his,
this like,
I don't want to say bad moments, but
no, people
Not-
get the
not as
idea
good
that
at
he's
moments,
this
yeah.
polished, well-oiled, perfectly disciplined. Like, no, he is not.
I can assure you he's not.
He's not. He's a young guy. He's like
Jamie
a fucking
sees a lot of those
excited
moments.
dog.
He
He's
can be
got
a
a lot
little
of energy.
terror sometimes.
What do we call him?
He's
A terror.
mischievous.
A weasel.
He gets
A
into
weasel
mode.
mode,
He's,
yeah.
like,
Weasel
he's
mode.
got a lot of things, but it's dealt with. That's
Right.
raising
Right.
a dog is dealing with that shit.
Yeah.
You deal with that. You address it or ignore it. That's what it is you can do in almost all scenarios. So, do I have to address this, and how am I going to address it? Then am I going to ignore this? Fucking ignore it. He's whining about that. That you can ignore.
Right.
Why, and then understand why. You know.
Yeah.
So I want to show more of like that stuff, like damn, I just made an investment, I fucked up, but this is why I did it, and this is how we're going to recover it. Or, hey, we tried this strategy with this dog. For instance, we tried a strategy with the dog with resource guarding last night, and it didn't go to plan. So we ended it as best as we possibly could, and we're going to build on it today. So, like, showing, like, hey, it's not always like the dog comes in and we just work our magic. There's a lot of times where I'm like, okay, like, how are we going to do this? Because I'm not on this, like, rule book that's been created by somebody else that says, like, if a dog is nervous, you have to do this. It's like, well, let me see more about that dog.
Right.
Yeah.
This
that?
this is
Should
a
be Nico?
yeah. This is Nico. So like, this is just to show not to show that he's perfect, but to show that he works with several people, not just Steve. So like, it's good for us to know all the stuff that he does with him as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get him pulling the stopper off? Because he likes to do that
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I know.
No, I didn't.
He likes to do that one.
He is good, but he has his moments.
No, he's
Trust
good.
us.
I mean, listen, for like, I would say like the things about him, like if I said, hey, would you like a dog who could do that? But like 99%, I'm sure would be like, yeah, like I could put him on the treadmill with no
Yeah.
thing at 9 months old, and then he walks calmly in his kennel. Fuck yeah, I'll take that. But even to me in that video, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 things we have to do better next time. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what I'm like thinking if I want him to get to a certain level. But it's not that I need him at that certain level. It's just those are more areas that I can find progress, find
Right, just
growth, and the
polish
whole
it up.
game is growth and progress. So as long as I have things to grow upon, I should feel good.
Right.
But then people are always like, I want to get to a place, or I want to get to a certain place with my dog. Then I'll feel good. Then I'll have all these things. But no, you actually feel worse. Because if you have it all figured out and done, there's nothing to grow. So now you're just stuck. And now you're on the
If you're not
decline. There's
growing,
nowhere to
you're
go but
dying.
down. So,
You know who posted something about that? Vinny, actually. He's like, he was saying something about stop trying to always get to the next place in life.
yeah.
Be aware of destination addiction. The idea that happiness is in the next place, the next job, or even with the next partner. Until you give up the idea that happiness is somewhere else, it will never be where you are.
Yeah, good. He's learning.
Yeah, he is.
You taught him that?
Yeah, I
Steve taught him
that.
all of
Yeah, I
that.
take full credit for that shit. Good job, Vinny.
Nice,
You're learning.
Vinny.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
All right, let's do a video.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
Well, we're starting with Ellie.
Okay.
Okay. So you want to read this?
This is, by the
first?
way, this is. Are we doing it a different way this time, or we're kind of the same as last time? Yeah, right. Same as last time. Another thing I was saying prior to the show today was we're working on ways to where I can like write on the videos, pause the videos, and that. So that's going to be coming really soon. And send us the videos, like, and we'll kind of. I want to do it.
We're going to have a better description of how to
So
send
we're gonna do
videos.
some pre-production shit here, and we're gonna figure out the best way for you guys to send videos because I want to spend time doing that. I enjoy it. I like asking questions, and maybe even like something in the future too. I'm just thinking about like playing the video while having the person on too. I know I'm throwing a million things out there,
No, I love that.
but like have them like either on audio only or
Yeah.
video also or something like that. And I'd be like, and let me see this video again. Okay, and what do you do right before this?
Right.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Because
That'd
there's
be
going to be
great.
sometimes we'll do things. We'll see how it goes in these videos, but there's going to be certain times where I'll be like, well, what happened before this?
Yeah.
Right. And we don't know.
And we're like, I don't know. You know? So that's going to be the ones where we'll say, all right, well, let's just assume. And then we just, so we can still make something out of it. Let's
Yeah.
see how today's goes.
And you know, also the other thing too is like all of these things have been born from Steve. I know. All these things have been born from Steve asking, "Yo, can we do this on the podcast?" And then we figure it out somehow or another.
Yeah.
We figure it out, and we'll
Yeah.
be progressing. All right, Jamie.
Okay. So this video shows 9 working dogs from a truffle farm. I would come in on the weekend and take them out for a run around the farm with the Kubota.
Wait, but we read this, right?
Yes.
So what's the summary of it? Basically, there's a bunch of dogs.
Yes. There's a bunch of dogs. She's
some of them need to
specifically
go
talking
by.
about the black Kelpie in the video. Very intense.
Okay.
So-
let's see the video. Let's see what happens here.
Wait.
That's not a fight. So most people consider that a fight, but that's not really a fight in my opinion. Play it again.
You would call that a conversation.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. So stop it here. I'll go back a little bit if you can. I know it's like a little bit fucking not easy. Yeah, stop there. So whatever, I don't know what the hell is going on here, but there's a bunch of dogs. This dog in the front here, this guy behind, there's something about him that he's wanting to stop him or pick on him or do something about his weakness or something. You can see, look, he's intense on him. This is like what Nico will do too. If I bring some weak ass dog into the dog park, he's like on him, but not because he wants to bully him, because he wants to like snap him out of it and say like, forget about all that nervousness. Let's just play. This guy's not doing that. It seems like he's trying to tell him like, you need to like chill the fuck out. So play a little bit more. Now stop here. Yeah, so this guy, you can see it, right? He's like circling him and following him
Yeah.
and all that thing. So now this one is deciding because he's putting pressure on her. So now she decides, or he decides, I don't know what it is. This dog on the right decides fight, flight, avoid, or accept this shit. And she says, well, I'm going to fight this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Give me some space, back up, don't fuck with me. So let's see what happens after this. Now stop there. Did the dog switch? I can't even tell.
Can you
Check
can
this
you go
out.
back and play it again?
Check
Can you
this
play it slower?
Yeah,
right
so
there,
this
okay.
is what we're gonna do is like almost like a frame by frame. So you see that dog goes in,
So he goes
And
to
then
him, he
the
moves
other
away.
dog comes into the picture here. A little bit grainy, guys. Sorry, but hopefully you guys can make it out. So that's still the same dog.
Same dog, same dog.
Yeah.
Another dog comes in from the back. You see that?
Yep. This dog.
That's the border collie
That's
that
the
comes
border
in.
collie. And that's what she was saying about BC border
That's what
collie.
she was asking about.
Ah,
was the border collie.
Okay. So he corrects that one.
Boom. Comes in hot, though, too.
Yeah,
See?
yeah, yeah.
You saw how like, it was coming in from a distance?
Play it. Normal.
Boom.
So yeah, that's nice. That was a nice one by the border.
Can you go
collie.
back to her question?
Yeah.
I'm swiping it like I can do it.
Yeah, you got it. You did it.
So here, why do you think the border collie corrected the red kelpie when it was the black dog who caused all the trouble? Or is it because the red dog retaliated first?
No, it's see, she's seeing it as what, like he's causing trouble, like it's humans and shit. The border collie likely came like to the awareness of the situation when the scuffle kind of thing will happen, and when she's gonna come in, she's gonna see, or he's coming in, he's gonna see the red one, who's likely weaker than the dark one, and the border collie's coming in telling you like. Because that also wasn't like a room, give me space.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
weaker.
room and then
Yes, yes.
like a long thing. It's an overreaction.
A more secure dog wouldn't have done the overreaction, essentially.
So it did a big overreaction. So here comes the border collie who's saying, "Hey, snap the fuck out of it. It's enough of." See, because like she's thinking about it, but like wait, but before and all this is a
This
human.
is the one that started it. So why would the
he
border collie
started
not
it.
correct
Hold
the
up,
guy who
this
started
one's
it?
not going to see what started. It's like he's likely coming or she's coming in once this is already happening, and she's coming in or he's coming in, seeing this one on the bottom,
Right.
moving towards the other ones. And look at the tail.
You
So
see-
Right.
she gets
Yes.
this, so you can see more about it once this dog comes in.
And you see, once a border collie came in, you saw the dog. It
No,
looked,
the other one gets it right
It
away.
gets
so
it
that's
right
the
away,
strongest
look.
energy of all of them.
boom.
Yeah.
All right.
But this, you have to be careful in this because look at
Yes,
this.
they're all coming in
All three.
now.
This is how pack attacks start. The whole
Yes.
fucking thing. So people don't see this in a dog park too. That they all start ganging up, and this is what they'll do. This is like, I mean, it's standard pack work.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. They're just like, all right. So what else do we need to do with this dog? What are we trying to accomplish? Calming him down. Okay. Or not making him as weak or whatever. And then the pack's like, all right, let's do that.
Right.
But that's for like someone like me when I'm in there to tell the border collie, all right, thank you. Well, like he did that whole thing. Stop everybody. Everybody lay the fuck down and
Yes.
calm down from here. I saw everything that happened. I'm okay with everything that happened. But you all need to go back to calmness, and now you guys can continue on with your truffle shit or whatever you're doing. Yeah.
From this, what Ellie wrote us here is it her video?
I don't know.
Do you think, Jimmy?
I think so.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah, because if you
Yeah, of
played
course.
the end,
Next
it
to the back,
it sounded like
It
her.
sounds like her.
So look at this. So look at the bottom. After the correction, I started driving, and they all continued to run with no more incidents, of course,
Right.
because it was handled.
Right.
So positive trainer would have said like, no. Let's like just
Let's
start.
separate
Let's
them.
take 10 hours of do this whole thing. It's like, okay. The other one would have been like, e-collar him or correct the fuck out of him. And then let them like, I'm like, no, the border collie came in and handled it. Just make sure he doesn't overreact because
Right.
he stopped it.
Right.
That's where if Ellie
But
knew
then I'm
what
also
to
going to
do-
make sure that border collie understands and make sure what's my relationship with that border collie because that dog can be really useful or become a
Yes.
big problem in a pack.
Right.
Because
Kinda
I
like
can
Fulton.
use them.
Like Fulton has that policing, like,
Yeah.
and he can be much at times.
Yeah, it's just how much of a fun police are they gonna be? You have to tell them what, like, how many crimes they can, like.
I love
like,
that term, the fun police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it was up to Fulton's a big Swiss Mountain Dog who comes for camp. And it's up to him. He'll like lead the country in writing tickets every day.
He
But then other times, like he like,
every time.
But then every once in a while he'll casually let someone drive by like 110.
And you're like,
yeah,
wait.
whatever. Fine. I don't give a fuck about that. It's like what?
This
But
was a
so
good
that's
video.
him. I'm telling him. I'm putting a limitation on him being like helicopter momming the whole place. Like,
Yeah.
no. That, like, they're allowed to do that. So I'm helping him and teaching him. But that's my job as the leader.
Yeah.
To show him this is what we're going to allow. This is what we're not going to allow.
This was a good video, right?
But I'm also taking notes. Yes. But I'm also taking notes of what he's addressing too. So I'm watching that border collie. I learn from them. I'm watching
was gonna
why.
say,
What
you're
does he
learning
have to
from that
think
dog.
about
Why do
this
they do
dog?
it?
Am I missing something? Am I not feeling something? Or am I like why is he so in tune with that one and keep going after that one?
Right.
What about him is like
Makes
causing
sense.
it? That's what I used to use Maddie for all the time with board and train because she was back in the pack. And I'm just using Nico in a different way with dogs now. Maddie was good for telling me about that dog.
And you would do it with people too, right?
What?
With
People?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
to
just do it
judge
in
people.
interviews.
Not, I shouldn't say judge, but
I used to do it in interviews.
yeah.
What does Maddie think about this?
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He
She
would
would growl if she would like. How would they
No, we
approach
would all pay
her? Would
attention
they
to
talk
that.
to her?
Yeah.
Would all those things happen?
Yeah.
And with Nico, it's like kind of pointless. He's just like, "Do you have a ball?" Like that's all
Seriously.
he's like.
Yeah.
You want to play?
He's the same
Give me
with
affection,
everybody.
I'll just play with you all day. You know?
He'll get better with it, though. I'm sure to read on that.
No, he's good with it. He's really good with dogs. Really good with dogs.
Definitely. So I just want to say,
What else? Do we have another video?
yeah, we do. I just want to say that was a really good video from Ellie, and just to reiterate, so that we make sure it's very clear what you're saying from that video. She thought it was one thing, but in reality, it was what?
I don't think she thought it was one. I think she thought it was more of like
You're like how she says the black dog actually
black
calls
dog
it.
is the one who's too intense, and he's like fucking with the other dogs, and
Yeah.
then why the border collie go after the black dog if the black dog started, go after the red dog if the black dog started it.
Right.
But it's not about like who started it. It's about this is the situation, and likely that black dog picks on the other one because the other one's weaker. So I would have likely addressed. Listen, if the dog's not being weak in those moments, I'm going to tell the other one stop fucking picking on her or on him or whatever the red dog is like. It's enough, like enough. I would tell Nico stop it. There's times where he wants to go just pick on a dog like too long, where it's not in the benefit of the dog, where the dog is just going to get too overwhelmed.
Right.
But there's a level of overwhelm that's actually valuable there for that dog, the red dog, to overcome. Where and then she like sits down and relaxes, and then the other one like walks away, and then she goes back to doing that stuff. That's good.
Right.
It's healthy for them. But I can assure you, the border collie's not thinking, "Oh my god, what are the positive trainers going to think about me?"
Yeah. No,
'Cause I just
that
came in and
wasn't
just
going
fucking
through their mind.
bit that dog right in his side and told her to chill out. And when she was off ignoring like that whole shit, she's not like thinking like, "Oh yeah, good. Like I'm ignoring it. Like we don't have to address that. I don't know what to do." But she's also not thinking like, "Let me try to intimidate this dog and scare this dog into fear so she never does it again." She's just saying, "Don't do that again."
The crazy part is
Too
like
intense.
seeing their video again, just how the border collie came in like Superman, Superwoman, whatever she is. Look at this.
You'll
Dude.
see. Like I mean, look, this is the how
Wow.
if the red dog doesn't slow down there, this can be a pack attack quick.
Absolutely.
So that's where like but that's how dogs handle it. I mean, I don't know what like you can go
It's how
call
they
them and call
communicate.
the police on them if
Yeah.
you want, but that's how they do it. I mean, that's what I
Call
look.
Fulton on them.
Look, what I think too many people are doing is following humans and like being like, oh, that's what you do with the dogs. That's what most of what my studying was studying the dogs themselves,
Yeah.
watching them and why they do this, why do that, and then trying to get the information or understand it, and then like also getting it from Caesar too, yes, but then like applying it,
Right.
like and making sure, like if someone told me like this tool is no good and this is my experience with it, I'd be like it's really interesting. And I would want to think like, well, is there a better way you could do it? How did you like apply this tool? Where did you do it? How long? Like, what could have changed? That's like the scientist. I feel like I'm more sciencey than all these people who claim to be like science has proven. It's like, do you even understand what science is? It's like having a hypotenuse. I was about to say, like, yeah. Do you know what it's about? Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, but it's like having a hypothesis. I think
Hypotenuse.
that this is what we should do with this dog, and it's like what based on other shit that we've done. So we're gonna try this strategy, this
Right.
thing, and then what's the conclusion? That. So it's
I
like-
know that I literally repeat what Steve says, but for people to understand what he's saying is so freaking true. Everybody's basing stuff off of textbooks, off of studies and
others.
science of others,
which is good. There's
you-
value.
But
Tons of
you're
value in
yes, but you're getting your science from your own experiences,
Here's a
your
question.
own practice, right?
Would you? Yeah. Here's the question: would you rather you have a huge leak in your house?
I love
Do
the
you want-
Would You Rather game.
Yeah.
Would
Would
you
you rather A, have the plumber who has been in the field doing it for 30 years, never went to school or any of that shit and whatever, or would you rather the person who's been studying it for 30 years but never picked up a wrench in their
and
life?
it's certified.
Certified, the whole thing, but they picked it up and they've done a few things here and there and they know it like textbook way. Which one do you want?
I would take A.
Yeah,
Would
everybody
you-
will.
would you
I mean, I
rather?
think most people will.
I
But-
think so too.
There's this like thing that is it's dying out by the way too now, but there's this like thing of like, well, this professional, it's like based on old shit, which is like, well, look at the degree they have. It's like, I don't care. Well, look at this study that happened there. Well, that study was old as fuck, and who funded it, and what was the purpose of it? How did they set it up? Who was
Right.
the dog? Who was the human in the room? Was there any other distractions? Was it, you know? So it's like, I don't know, like.
It's like doctors too. People say, like, what kind of doctor would you rather have?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a doctor who's young and innovative and like knows all the new technology, or would you rather have an older doctor who may not be up on all of the new technology but has a lot of experience?
My question is why this world that we live in is such extremes with everything on both sides of everything.
I'll
It's
take
like
the
I'm
doctor
either
in
book
the
smart
middle.
or I'm all on the streets.
Yeah,
It's
can
like,
have
what if you just
middle-
merged,
Or the middle-aged
what if you just
doctor.
merged them and like had street smarts and you had book smarts? Like like I grew up in the streets, but now I have this stuff.
So when are you going to start getting your fucking book smarts, bro?
I have them, bro. No, but I like that.
But you are doing that now. You're studying the hell out of stuff, and you're reading stuff, and you're
You
watching
define
other people's-
education.
Yeah.
What's education? Do you have to go into a schoolroom to be educated? Okay.
No.
Do you have to even read a book?
If you've
watch
gotten
videos.
anything out of the show, you're being educated.
Yeah.
Hopefully you did. I mean, I don't
Hopefully.
know if you did. Jamie's not fucking say shit.
Well, I don't learn anything.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's what's education and how are you learning it?
Right.
How would you define education?
Learning.
Gaining
Applying.
knowledge.
Learning and applying.
Learning and applying.
Yeah. Learning and applying, because learning is one thing.
Yeah.
Knowing is one thing. Doing and being able to do it is the other thing.
I like that. It's almost like reading and comprehension.
It reminds me of
Two
like the
different things
people
that's
like
happening.
when I used to back in the day watch like these sports guys. Like in New York, like sports is huge here, obviously. So like that you would hear like we're on the fan or ESPN radio, and you're hearing some guy talk about like I'm watching the game and I'm watching the pitcher. I remember being on the mound with all that fucking pressure and all that stuff, and the guy being like, "Why would he even?" It's like, yeah, why would he even? Because you're reading about pitching in a book and you were never
You've never
standing on
done
the
it.
mound and felt all the pressure in that moment, or realized that guy in the third inning hit a home run on that pitch, and that's why I'm not throwing that pitch.
Right.
You know, like, or whatever. Or he might not realize my finger is bothering me and I have to, whatever the thing may be. So to me, I'm like, I'm always going to go for the ones who've been in it and done it versus the ones who can know how to talk about it.
That's why like the UFC commentators that actually fought are better at it. And actually, Joe Rogan is one of those people.
Yeah, he
that-
didn't
that-
fight.
I mean, that's
he's
really
been in
all
martial arts.
commentators.
he knows the martial arts
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. But he does it. He does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He does Muay Thai. He does all that stuff.
Right. You
So
have
he
to
knows.
understand it to be able to talk
He knows he's
about
not
it.
competing, but he knows.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm
Which
not
is-
competing in the dog training, meaning competing dogs, but I'm working with dogs.
Right.
Which is why your input on all of this stuff is really valuable because you're in it and you're working it.
Listen, what I say on here, I don't like go out and say this is gospel. This is the way it is. This is the only way. I'm just talking from my experience. Like, you know how many people have said to me, like, you know, it takes real courage for you to go on there and talk about this stuff as much. Why? It's based on my own experiences. What's so courage like about that? Well, you might be wrong. Well, I don't think I'm wrong. There might be a better way to do it. It's possible, but tell me it. I want to hear it because I'm here working. I'm not trying to compete. I don't fucking care. I know what we can do. It's like, it's done. Like, hey, can you think you get this dog stop reacting? Yeah. Okay.
But if it were a competition, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But
we'd be winning. No, I'm just kidding.
but there's no way. That's the thing. I would look.
Steve loves a good competition.
I would love to say like, give me one of these people who's like been on like TV or this or that or whatever, talking a ton of shit and theory and all this stuff, and be like, give us both identical puppies and let's see which dog's better at the 1 year mark. I would love to do that, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know,
They try to do that
I
with
mean,
Recruit Asia, Caesar's Recruit Asia. Kind of, they try to do that, but
It's just not gonna like. What are you gonna do with this?
I know,
I don't know. It's just like, dude, you're not gonna get the same thing. It's a different dog.
right?
It's still a different dog. It's still
If it was
an
the same
individual.
dog, though, let's say that
You
like,
can't because then all right, so I get the dog first, and I put a fucking ton of influence on that dog.
and you influenced it.
now you
it's
get
gonna-
it. So what? You already did a bunch of imprint on that dog. Fucked it up. Right?
The only difference there is energy. That would be the only thing that would be different. But again, you set the dog up, so when I get the dog, I have an easier time doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But it's anyway, that's my point. Is any of the stuff I talk about, the books to read, the videos to watch, the people that it's all things that I've done. I'm not like, oh yeah, you should really check out Tony Robbins. He's awesome. So Steve, what do you know about Tony Robbins? Nothing. I just know that he's a development guy or something. I've heard he's good.
Yeah.
No, I've been to 3 workshops of his. I've read his books. I've done his coaching class. I know his shit. And I'm prepared
You've
to talk
applied
about
it.
Yeah.
That's how Jamie
Yeah.
says he's our guinea pig.
Yeah.
You
So
are.
you try
Those
everything.
people, you should go debate somebody. I'm like, I'm not interested in debating other trainers. I really am not.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not that I shouldn't say I don't care. I'm just not in the mode of like, let me find somebody that I could argue things with. Like, I'm not interested in that. I want to work. Like, here's a case. What's your input on it?
Well, you don't feel like you have to defend yourself.
Yeah, like, what's your input on this? What's your input on that? Like, what did you do this? Because, like, what am I going to do? Sit here. I've rehabilitated thousands of dogs over the last decade and sit here with someone who's talked about it
Right.
and explain to me, well, what are your results? Can I see anything?
But what
that
is there
you-
really to even talk about then?
Yeah, whatever. This whole industry gets me fucking crazy, to be honest.
Damn, Jamie.
What?
I don't know, but he switched after that statement.
No, it gets me crazy.
like that
Like,
one?
No, he didn't
it
like
gets
it.
me. I shouldn't say it gets me crazy, but it just frustrates. I think more than anything, like the level of arguing and competition. But to me, it seems like the middle school. Like, who has the better middle school team? It's like I don't know. Can we talk about the big leagues now?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it really. A lot of the times I watch stuff, I'm like, oh my god, okay, well, whatever. That's what I was saying before about when I'm seeing like someone. If I see a young trainer, like here, a perfect example of that is like Christian, who's here. When I saw him, young trainer or young dog person, whatever, and just posting like things they know and they've done and are doing, I think that's really good. But when I see these young people coming on, or people with little experience, or someone who just got into dog training, there's a person like this. I've had that talk shit about me. I'm like, I don't even know who this person is. It's the local person who's like making their whole business based around not being me. Like, and in their 50s, just got their degree recently, and is like telling everybody about like how he's the best and this is the best way and this and that. And like, it's like, are there any videos you've ever
Right,
done
based on what?
besides like showing your dog a trick? Who gives a shit? I mean, I want to see the resource guarding dog. I want to see that dog who reacts. I want to do this. Oh my god, how did I forget about this one? There's been a lot of shit in 2 weeks. Lady comes.
That's what happens when we take a
Lady
break.
comes for an
I know.
assessment. This is what happens. Lady comes for assessment. This is a person in Hoboken training dogs. I don't mean names. I'm not trying to ruin people's businesses, right? Training dogs. This is a dog trainer. I am the dog trainer and promotes as like really good, like the best, right? She goes, yeah. So we were working with this person in Hoboken, and in between our sessions, he nipped somebody, and our trainer like canceled it and said like, oh, I don't work with biting dogs. Good luck.
Oh, but wait.
That actually gets me a little like that. Actually, like that's one for myself where I work on myself because I work on my calmness and breathing because I want to like, take this fucking microphone and throw it across the room. To like, that's where you leave your fucking client hanging like that. I hope you gave your money back at least, all of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to me like I'm giving up because I don't work with biting dogs. Well, what did you tell that in the beginning?
Right.
Did you let them? What does that even mean? I don't work with biting dogs. So you don't work with dogs who communicate?
But do you know how many?
And how do
people
they
are
bite? And
out
what
there?
scenario? And what?
I mean, how
thing?
many clients do we get that they say, "Oh yeah, no other dog would work with me.
Yeah, that's the big thing
No
for
other
me.
dog, no other trainer."
It's like
work
being in the
with me.
know because I'm in it. I'm in it. I talk with all these dog people. I talk with vets. I talk with food people. I talk with the nutrition. I talk with them, and it's like knowing the real deal, and then like okay, you have the inside, and then like watching over here this shit being like yelled and talk shit about. But now I understand what it's like the life of politics. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that person is lying directly to the American people right now, and I know for a fact. And there's people who all agree with them. How do I get them to see this truth? You know, in that world, it's like I don't know, I'll figure it out without getting shot and killed.
I mean, actually, the reality is that people
Don't
don't
start.
No one's with that.
people don't like the truth. That's the real thing about it. That's why positive trainers are doing so well. Is because they're lying and they're sugarcoating.
Yeah.
And they're making it sound really good too.
Well, they talk about the front end, which is like this is what we do. This is what's going to look like. This is like the thing. It's going to be great and treats and that. But what they don't talk about is, but if your dog bites, I'm going to drop you.
Right. But I'm
And
telling
if
you,
it doesn't
that's
work,
the fine print.
and if my strategy for your dog doesn't work, you're fucked up and your dog's fucked up. Some dogs like Jake just don't like other dogs.
Right.
You're a bad owner, and
That's not a solution.
they're right on a lot of these times where there are a lot of owners. Not that they're bad owners, but they're bad at being a leader for the dog. They're not good at it.
Right.
Or they don't apply it. However it is, if it's lack of discipline, the energy's not there, whatever. It's just that's what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of that. It's like what, like that dog we just posted about that. It said like rehab or whatever. That little freaking brown dog who came here for the assessment.
I thought that's who you were talking about. To be honest,
No, it was the
wasn't.
one same day.
Oh, I see.
This dog.
That was a good video.
Are you on me on the camera?
Yes.
This dog.
Tilt down slightly, right there. Yeah.
This is the one where the guy's like freaking out, like what?
Yeah, yeah.
How does this happen? Anyway, look at that one. It's on the Instagram, like one of the most recent ones. It says rehab equals restore to former state. That one is like, I've been through 4 trainers. I spent this amount of money, and then that I'm just like, what? I really say to myself, what the hell are these people doing with these dogs?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this person's pretty with it. She seems committed. She's dedicated. But what they're telling you to do, it just doesn't make sense. This is just ridiculous that they're trying to tell you to do this and do that and look at me and all this bullshit. It's like now it's someone who just couldn't see it. It's like what I'm saying when going back to pitching. It's like someone saying like, I just don't understand. Like the person's like, no, you have to throw the fastball in this. It's a 3-1 pitch. You have to throw a fastball. Mm-hmm. Not to that hitter, I ain't. I'd rather him go on first base because if I throw the shit down the middle, it's fucking going over the fence and we're down 3-0. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, the theory says I should do that, but not in this individual scenario.
Doesn't apply.
So with that individual scenario, I even talked about like how I don't handle the dogs during the assessments usually,
Right.
unless I feel it necessary. And in that one, I could see the defeat in them. Like they're like, we don't know if this is even possible. So I'm like, if the
And
beliefs,
that's a lot of our clients.
yeah, most. And I'm like, if the belief's not even there, then forget about the how too. Like, how are
Right.
we going to do this in the strategy? If you don't believe it, then forget it. It's like, do you believe you're going to get a ranch? No, then I'm not here. Like, it doesn't happen that way. So I was like, how do I get these people to believe? And I was like, I don't think he's that bad. He just needs to be snapped out of it. And I actually think he's somewhat social. Yeah. In my mind, I'm saying this. If I told them, they'd be like, all right, we're leaving. You're stupid. You know? Okay, well, let me say. So I go downstairs, but like just one correction to him when he looked tense at the dog, and then I let him smell him, and we walked out together, and they were like,
Right. People have to say it.
so for me, I'm like, damn, like these people think that this is such a big deal, but this is like, it's almost like a high and a low at the same time. It's like a high that I've been able to achieve something in my career where I can like see things that like most professionals can't see, and I can achieve all this shit. But it's also a low to be like, damn, look what these people have been through.
Right.
And this is what I'm in. You know, this is like what my industry has done to people over and over again. Is like keep like giving them wrong information, bullshit, theory, but talking about it as it's written in stone. Yeah. But things they're just hearing and then read somewhere that somebody else did. You know?
We're gonna change gears. It's going along with everything you're talking about. You don't have a lot of time here.
Like 9 minutes to my next session. Speaking of what I'm saying,
I know. And we apologize if we get cut off a little bit here. Yeah. But this next video is actually going to be able to show a behavior of a dog, like looking at a dog being tense or whatever. They're on a hike. Mm-hmm. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to educate the public on different situations that a lot of people find themselves in and what we would do about it.
Yeah,
but we're not trying to preach. And
also the details.
Yeah.
So like whatever you're gonna show, but even those things, it's like right there's a detail. Did you notice?
Yes.
Like so you can see it because I remember this is what happened back in the day. The hardest thing for me was when I'd be at TCW and Caesar. Did you see that?
You're like, nope.
No,
I didn't. He's like, you'll see it one day. Yeah. And then he just like walks away. Doesn't fucking tell you. And I'm like, well, can you tell me what it is? Oh, okay. But that's also part of like go and get the information.
Definitely.
I think there's so many people. That's another thing that's been on my mind too. But I don't want to get into that. It'll be too long.
Let's not
it's
go
basically
down that
some
road.
people who like I want to do all these things, but like are then sit back and wait for them to happen. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Go get it. Get the fucking shit. Do it. It's likely not just gonna happen with time. But what were we saying before that? I forgot already.
Well, I'm trying to pivot us into this video so we can do this last one.
The details of the little things. Did you see all those things? Because then now it's gotten to the point where it's extremely rare now where something happens and Caesar goes, "Did you see that?" And I go, "Yeah, that guy fucking." He's like, "Yeah." But there are still times where he's like, "Did you see that one movement?" I'm like, "Now that you replayed it, I saw it."
Right.
You know. So that's what this is going to be able to get you to see. Is like you're likely not going to have a million dogs truffle hunting, right? But you'll be able to see what it looks like when a dog corrects a dog, when a dog is following through, when a dog's overreacting, when a dog's being too intense. That's another thing to mention about that video. That's the dog park. Intensity super high with everybody.
Right.
They're all working, right? And searching and doing all that stuff. But like that turned in when you're in that zone, be prepared.
Right.
When you set up the UFC octagon and you put a bunch of meatheads in there, it's likely that something might break out. If you're a UFC fighter, please don't kick my ass for calling you a meathead. You guys are very intelligent people too. I know.
From one meathead
We're gonna
to
get
another.
some fucking UFC fighter as a client. He's like, "So I want to work with my dog." Bam.
Yeah. So I saw that podcast.
Yeah, meathead.
Meathead.
Who's the meathead now? Okay, what is this?
All right, let's just go ahead and get this video, play this video, so you can see. You can start pointing
Just
out.
play the whole thing.
Yeah, you can start pointing out what you see here.
Excited.
Sorry, let me get some audio in here.
Everybody's tail's going.
5 and 6 dogs. Yeah.
Good.
Is that her whining?
Yeah,
That one?
believe
I think so.
All right, so play it again, and we'll do some pauses. So, watch. I'll tell you when. Keep going. Stop there. Do you guys see what the problem is? Yeah. So dog in front, dog intense already. Just it's fixated on the dog's coming and excited, right? So this is what like how it usually starts. This is dogs reacting on the street. So in my opinion, something needs to be either done about it. All right, oh God, how do I do this in not 6 minutes or whatever?
Not even.
It all depends on the individual. So the questions I would be asking about this, I mean, we got to see the after. How often do they react? How intense are the reactions? How long have they been doing it? And what have you tried so far? What has worked? What has not worked? What's made it worse? What's made it better? All those things I need to find out. Because look, if this dog was reacting like this and having explosions and had been doing it for 5 years, we have to do something to recreate this at the right time and interrupt it. And confuse the dog from like his normal pattern and behavior in that thing.
Can you give me 1 second? I'm gonna
No.
let you finish that thought. Would you mind going and handling the person that just showed up?
Yes, they're kicking me out.
Yeah, you're
I'm
kicked
not
out.
kicking you out. I'm
Next
asking
studio?
for help here.
the
But
session's
that
here?
way we can
Okay.
that way we can
All right,
just
so
end
I'll
this
close this up.
comfortably. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. This is the 2021 February pack leader. What is it? What are we even calling this?
Ask the Pack Leader.
Ask the pack leader.
Yeah.
The other one's pack leader experience. This
Coming-
is how we're doing shit. I don't
coming
give a
soon.
fuck. Look, but this is something you guys should think about too. Is like I thought about this to myself of like, maybe we should wait till I have more time and wait and procrastinate and all that. I said, fuck. I remember I said it to you one day. I was like, fuck it. Let's just get regular on
Yeah.
these podcasts
Yeah, yeah.
once a week. Let's just do it.
Yep.
We missed one
Has it
because
been
of
easy
the fucking
though?
blizzard.
Has it
No.
been easy? No, but we're really pushing through.
But we're
it's
figuring
good.
these things out.
Yeah.
So then, like, and doing it more on the fly too. And the reason I want to do it more on the fly, like with situations like this
Yes.
too, is that like it gives them like, oh, so I could just walk off my podcast or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to. It doesn't have to
It
be
doesn't
some
have to be perfect.
perfect event.
And I apologize for cutting you off.
Yeah.
But I figured that would help you to give
Yeah.
you the time to.
So I'm
to finish
figuring
your
out
thought.
all those things because if he did this reaction a ton, we got to do something of recreating it, interrupt it, and then redirect it, do something else with it. But problem number one is it seems like the leash is pretty tight there, and dog is in front. And then when you see these next dogs come, those dogs are also in front. So already, I'm like, as someone who's seen this, that they're working through the problems, like I was watching that video, and I'm like, is this gonna be a bite or what is it? Because that's what I'm thinking.
That's what it
but I'm
looks
like,
like.
it ended up
Didn't-
fine.
Yeah.
Another thing she said in there was like, and all the tails are wagging, so we're fine. Guess what? When I'm feeding that dog downstairs with that red zone aggression, his tail's
Tail's
going.
wagging. Yeah.
So tail wagging is arousal excitement. That's all it means. Go ahead, play. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. I know we're on a hike, but look, stop here. Look at the other dogs. And keep going a little bit so you can see them. Stop. So she did a shush. It had zero effect on the dog.
And-
That's something that needs
yeah.
to be taken note of.
Yeah.
So shush.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. The dog stayed focused on that dog. So I wouldn't use that shush for a while, or I would like you could call charging it or creating like the association to the sound of what it should mean. And to do that, it's honestly like you're walking along, you follow through and sit the dog down and relax, and they give you eye contact. Shh. So let them hear it in that state. So you're influencing them in low level shit. Do it in like an easy scenario where the dog, you just settle the dog down. Shh. They hear it there, and then you continue on. So then so this thing is that shush thing. And just so you know, using it from 0 to 10, only 1 to 2. Because when the dog's in a meaning of intensity, if the dog's in 4, 5, 6, he's not going to hear that shush, just like this one didn't really give a shit about it. So dogs in front, right? I wouldn't have done it that way. I mean, for me, look, and she's already talking with us back here.
Right.
I would have settled the dog down next to me or moved all the way to the side. Because look, I know they won't be able to hear me on this, but look at this shit. It's like, no, we're human, dog, humans.
Yeah.
So like the middle is dogs, and they're gonna meet face to face. It's like that's like not a good way to me. It's like people. There's like two dudes like who testosterone is flowing, meeting face to face. Like let's meet like this instead of at a distance shaking our hands.
Which is what you see here.
Yeah,
You start
so-
to see the face to face.
And there's another dog here too, so we have to factor in that. But these two dogs on the other side are just chilling. They're social. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. This dog right here seems fine too. So these are scenarios where it goes fine, but there's a lot of errors, but it ends up going okay. And then people practice it more and more and more. And then all of a sudden, like the bite happens the one day and people say, I don't know why he did that. I've never seen that happen before. Well, you were getting away with it a lot. It's like, it's like back in the day when I used to cut a sandwich, I would hold the bread like this, like a roll, and I would cut it like this in my hand.
Yeah.
But I would do it to fuck with my mom.
Oh, we're...
I'm like, don't cut it. You're gonna cut your hand. I remember one day I had like I had like I don't know 4th of July party or
Yeah.
30th birthday or whatever.
Drinking.
And I was hammered.
Nice.
And it was the end of the night. We're upstairs. I mean, end of the night, it was like probably 9, 10 o'clock. It was like a pool thing we did at my parents' house. And I'm standing the thing with my cousin. My cousin Eric will confirm this. I'm standing there and I'm going like, "Hey, Mom, watch out!" And she's like this, and I go like this, and I go
Oh no.
on my hand, and I go to Eric. I just fucking. I go, "Don't say anything." And I look at my hand, all blood.
Oh
and
my
everything.
God.
I just casually walked out, and my
Yeah.
mom still. Well, now she knows, but to this day,
Now
she
she
didn't
knows.
know that I actually cut my hand.
Yeah. You had to hide that one.
So I got away. My point is, I got away with that
Yeah.
shit a lot of times
Yeah.
until the one mistake that could have put me in the emergency room.
Now, do you think, okay, in that video, they're like,
Okay,
you
what
see
they
how the
need to
other,
do-
you see how the other dog, it never actually met. They kept them at a distance.
Yeah.
Oh, there it did. It did actually. It was there.
Yeah.
Where they're
They're,
like,
they're all the dogs have been socialized. You can tell they all have been, and I don't know what they're doing with this one, or if she's improved or got worse or what. She's still intense about it for sure, but she's tolerating all this
a
stuff.
little bit tense. You see that, right?
Yeah, there's three. Well, you have
Right
three
there.
dogs who are more just mingling, and one dog who's like, "Yo, what's up with everybody?"
Yep. Yep.
Like that's
And you see it. You see right here where the dog's in the face, and it's like a
Yeah.
little bit tense.
Yeah.
Kind of how our boy Jay gets at times.
I mean, that's just the face thing. That's the face
Yeah.
thing. But what I would have done there, if I was going to do a meeting, what I would have like pulled to the sides. I would have settled the dogs down. Do we know each other? Is your dog social? Is my dog social? Like I would set that stuff up.
Yeah.
With people I know first, then do it on a walk. But your assessment and evaluation skills better be pretty damn good to see a dog, and then you should be able to confirm with the owner, like, do you even want to do this meeting? Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not a huge fan of that shit of meeting dogs. Like, I don't let Nico meet many dogs on leash. I didn't really bring Maddie to do that stuff. But then again, I have dogs here, so I can do stuff with that. But
And if you're working with dogs meet, the dog being in front is obviously like the first sign that you brought up.
no. You like
Don't do
I'm
that.
bringing them, and it's like this is the head is here and the head's here. Like I'm gonna try to bring them to each other's butts. Almost.
Yeah.
Like guide them towards the butts to smell each other, and they could be smelling each other, and that's when sometimes they're like smelling each other, and then one like starts posturing up like this. You just gotta
Yeah.
be careful of that shit because
Yeah.
that's like now they're going into a little bit of like, well, what are you gonna do with this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, dude, thank you
That's the
for
detail.
this.
Yeah, really good one.
This podcast.
Glad to be
Quick
back
one.
in it.
Me too.
back in it. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm glad you took a little break.
Yeah, some new videos.
We'll have some more coming.
We'll work on the play-by-play and all that
Play-by-play.
stuff. But a lot of good shit coming. I've been saying that
Definitely.
forever, but we're doing it.
Yeah,
Things are in action. All right. So
absolutely.
love you guys. Stay calm and confident. We'll see you on the next Ask the Pack Leader. Almost got that out.
Yeah, the nest. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Later.
Later.
Let me go do my session.
Sweet.